Oh, can't I?
Yeah, and we're live.
Oh, we're live, okay.
We are live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Never Mind the Buy Box. Tonight I'm joined by the lovely Matt Webley. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hi, Nally. I'm all right, thank you. I've not spoken to you in so long.
I know. We've had a full chat, Matt on that chat day, haven't we?
All we've done all day is be on calls all day. Not just me and other people with us, but all day. And a little break for an hour or two, something like that.
Well, I found evening, Karen. Hi. I found it kind of weird because when I came off of like the marathon chats that I had with you today, I I was like chatting to my Matt, and I think he thought he had some sort of really bad case of chat-itis because I was like, but that's because the last meeting we had, I didn't do that much chatting, and I feel like I had to get it out of my system.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. I've never seen you not speak so much as that last chat. But it wasn't me that was doing the speaking either. I weren't doing any speaking. We're doing lots of listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I'm just going to log into the chat while we do it. I've got a whole new setup. Yeah. It's really exciting. I've got new lighting. What do you think on the lighting, guys? Let me know. I'm not 100% on it, but I think I'm like playing around with it. You saw on Facebook earlier, I was like mucking around with the saturation, makes me look really orange and that type of thing. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's okay. But I've got this whole new computer system, like double screen and everything like that. And of course, I don't know how to use it. So I'm just going to go straight back on my phone and look at the comments anyway.
Terry just tagged us in the post, and that's helped me find it so much, like on my phone, because it came up and I clicked it. I couldn't find it otherwise. I was like, where is it? So thanks for that. I know you didn't do it to help me, but you helped me. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's the thing. As soon as you, it's hard on Secret of Project with so many posts and so many videos and everything like that when you're trying to find it. Absolutely. So, oh no, Sue says she doesn't like the lighting. She prefers the old lighting. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've just got to
play with it. You can play with it, can't you?
I've got to have a play. Well, the thing is, my old lighting, it was like, I did it on a laptop, and I just used the camera from the laptop, and I swear it was broken, and it just made me look, it evened everything out. it just kind of worked. So
have you got a better quality webcam now then?
Yes, this is like a quality. So this is the real me.
Yeah. See, when I did the iPhone 6 Plus thing for ages, for years, like I loved it because the camera's not that great and it was perfect because it like you didn't have to worry about anything. And now, like 4K cameras, I don't even dare use a 4K camera. Like I ain't pretty enough. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to see my lumps and bumps.
Oh, Karen says she loves the lighting. Thank you, Karen. Right, let's say hello to everyone. Because like loads of you guys still haven't filled, I'm going to tell you all off. I do it with the Elite Sellers Academy. I tell them, most of them have done it now, so which is good. But make sure whenever you see a post like this as a reminder for Never Mind the Buy Box, if you can click in and fill in your details with StreamYard, it just means that we get to see who you are in the comments. You're not signing up for anything. You're not agreeing to anything. It just means that whenever you make a comment, that we know who you are. So Ruth's here, Omar, Sue, Karen, Paul. Gus has joined us. Hello, Gus. How are you? Long time no see. Terry, who tagged you in it. Jed, Inga, Boom. Sean says, and the sales too. We'll come on to that in a moment. Sue Ruston says, hi. Hayden's watching. Sean, hi, Sean. Sean Flynn, not Sean Gilbert, different one. Paul, God, there's loads of you on tonight. Absolutely.
It's a busy one. You know what? Ollie's cat just fell off the banister. I heard something banging and clanging. Turns out, like Pebbles, the fish, literally fell off the balcony. It was from the top all the way down. She okay? I just heard like banging and stuff. If anybody wondered why I looked a bit distracted, I went the banging. The cat fell downstairs.
Well, it's a bit like earlier when we were on a call. Like literally, Matt's face was like, "What's going on?" And he was like,
"I can't even remember what happened."
Your house phone started ringing.
Yeah, the house phone rang. our house phone, we don't even use the house phone. We've only got it for the broadband, but we've got a line on there anyway, so we don't actually use it at all. It's never rang before. So when we were on a call earlier, it was like playing a tune, but we didn't know where this tune was coming from or what it was. It was the phone that we'd never heard before. But I think it was a scam call. I Googled the number and it come up as like, this is probably a scam number and all this stuff. So, but it was unusual to get a call on that. Really unusual. No one's got the number. We don't use it. So
no, I don't know many people that still use their landlines at the moment. So Gus says the fish has collapsed, referring to the cat. Cats and ninjas. Donna says, John Stevenson, hi John, hope you're well. Terry says, sign up to what, Natalie? Have you got a link, please? It's just on the StreamYard. I don't know if Holly can post it in, post it in the comments where you can sign up to StreamYard, just so we can see your names. So
Holly is nowhere near her laptop, I don't think. She is.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe the cat, I think.
If my Matt's watching, maybe he can do it. But don't worry, Terry, we'll get you signed. Well, I say it's not a sign up link. You're not signing up for anything. It's just to give them permission to see your name, essentially. That's all it is. So John says, evening, Matt and Nat. That could be rhyming slang. Absolutely. Chat with Matt and Nat. There's lots of there's lots that could go there. Oh, a few nice comments about the lighting. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Even though they're lying to you, Nat. Let's face it, they're lying. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that they're only saying it because you felt so bad about someone saying something nasty.
No, don't be silly. Right. How are you anyway? Well, it's about a bit pointless. I've seen you all day, so I know you're right.
For everybody else, I am fine. I'm all right. The usual nonsense that is current situations for everybody worldwide right now. That nonsense is doing me head in. But other than that, I'm all right.
Yeah, good. I mean, it was a bit of a. I mean, I don't live in one of the affected areas, obviously, with everything that's going on with COVID-19. I live in the medium risk area, kind of really unaffected by the announcements that had happened over the last couple of days. So obviously, if you do live in one of those areas, I imagine having the possibility of going back into a limited lockdown, at this time of year, it must be pretty frustrating.
I've not felt like I've come out of lockdown. I don't want to make it about coronavirus and all that stuff, but I've not felt like I've came out of lockdown. It's a very weird situation we find ourselves in. Take the
no. So don't worry, we know we're just having a little play with you. We know you're not being nasty. Don't worry about it. We're just having a little play. Yeah, everyone's like, ha, absolutely. There it is. Karen, our heroine, thank you very much. So she's popped the link in there, Terry. So anyone that hasn't filled out their details, it's just really helpful so we can see who you are. And then maybe one day I won't need two screens and a phone to be able to see all of the different comments. But
I don't think that StreamYard thing will ever work properly because it's like Facebook user, whereas on here I can see who it is. So it's just easier to do that, isn't it? It's just a bit delayed on it, I think.
Absolutely, and I say this every week as well. So those that haven't subscribed to the Nevermind the Buy Box YouTube channel, I know a lot of you are real fans of the channel to be able to watch it in there, because you can also watch it on there, because I know a lot of people tend to watch this sort of thing while they're doing their prepping, and you can't really do it on two screens if you're doing it at once. So some people like to put the Nevermind the Buy Box on a different device or something like that. So you can do that if you subscribe to Nevermind the Buy Box YouTube channel as well. But that's all the kind of housekeeping out of the way. Hi Anita, don't worry. Let's have a quick look. There we go. John says tonight with Nat, Matt and the cat.
Absolutely. So when we're going to tell them about our upcoming surprise?
At the end. We'll tell them, well, maybe a little bit later on. We'll tell it. Yeah, we've had some really, really productive calls with people today. So we've got some exciting things coming up, in particular for Nevermind the Buy Box as well. So I think you guys are going to be super excited when we give you a little bit more detail about that. But we can't give too much away. A little bit of classic Matt feet tickling that will be going on. But let's have somebody said they can't prep because they've run out of boxes. That's Omar. Oh no. Hopefully you'll be able to grab some soon. So let's have a bit of a catch up with everything that's going on, because obviously we had the lovely Matthew Wright on with us last week, so we didn't talk too much Amazon news. It was more about his fantastic journey and his experience with selling on Amazon and eBay and all of these, where, you know, all of his adventures with his online selling career over the last 10 years. And thank you for all your lovely comments on that. I know Matthew really appreciated it.
He was outstanding. Matthew was outstanding. Clearly very extremely knowledgeable, outside the box thinker, and just really, really, really like good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. So if you haven't had a chance, again, another reason to subscribe to the Nevermind the Buy Box YouTube video. That's last week's one on there as well. Really, really interesting chat that we had about his experiences selling over the last 10 years. So if you haven't watched that one already, make sure you do. But let's have a bit of a catch up with everything that's been going on Amazon wise. And it's been a bit fruity, actually. There's been a big, huge announcement that Amazon made a couple of days ago. So I want to talk about that as well. So it's, oh yeah, Terry, you've done it. Well done. I can see your name now. Brilliant. Someone else said, is Matthew also Matt? No, it's a different Matthew. And then I've also got a Matthew. And then there's possibly another Matthew that's going to be.
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? There's just Matthews and Matts everywhere. Matt clearly gravitate towards Nats.
I do, absolutely. And vice versa. Evening, Vlad. Evening, Kate. God, loads of people are jumping on tonight. So, yeah, there's been a big announcement. I can't remember exactly when it came out. I think it came out, you know, a few days ago. Feels like the last few days have just gone so quick. So it might have even been back end of last week. But, of course, there was this big announcement that Amazon released about selling in Europe, selling EFN, and what's potentially going to happen. Unfortunately, it was one of those announcements that it didn't really give us much information because, and to be fair, to Amazon's credit, there's not much they can do about it, to be perfectly honest, without changing their whole infrastructure. And
are you going to tell us what the news is, Nat?
No, I'm just going to keep you guessing the whole time. But okay. That's of course the news with the UK's impending Brexit and leaving the EU, and the impact that that's having on what sellers, especially from the UK, will be able to sell in the European markets. And I've got the details here, so I can go through it. It's on my second screen, which I'll get. Which basically it's saying that whenever you make a sell in Europe, and if you get a return, it should technically filter through the distribution centres and it should come back to the UK fulfillment centre. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So what you actually have to do is you have to go into your inventory reports and you have to see what stock is being held in the European fulfillment centre. And then you have to request manually through Seller Central for Amazon to send that back to you through a cross-border transfer. So it's a little bit complicated, but it's one of those things that most sellers have kind of got used to doing. Now, from November the 14th, Amazon are deleting all cross-border transfers. Not going to do it beyond that date. I would say the email came as a little bit of a surprise, as much as a surprise it could be, but I think a lot of us thought that we would be able to sell a bit closer to the end of the Q4 period. Whereas now, if you're pan-European, you've got a bit more leeway. But if you're not, which the majority of sellers on here are going to be using the European fulfillment network, it is it is essentially now the end of selling in Europe through European fulfillment centre. I don't see the point of continuing on much past these next couple of weeks for a couple of reasons. One, you can still sell until the end of the year. Technically, you can still sell until the end of the year. But the trouble is you do risk losing that stock and never getting it back if somebody makes a return, and you do risk your stock being stranded in European fulfillment centres. We already know that there's potential tax implications to that. We don't know what the implications are going to be past the Brexit date, if there's going to have more serious implications to that. So there's a couple of reasons why, but I think overall it's going to be the end of it now, unfortunately.
I'm going to be the shining light of positivity in an otherwise dark room on this. And I expressed this earlier, and Nat kind of just laughed at me, and I could tell she was just thinking, no, you did. You just thought no chance. But you know what? I am hopeful that in the last minute of midnight, before midnight, some deal will be struck. And I think that, and I don't know. I've not watched the news. I've not read the news. I don't know what's going on. No idea. But it makes no sense for the European Union to let us leave without any kind of deal. And I think it makes most sense for them to try and reach for some kind of free trade agreement type thing. So again, I've not got into the details, not got into the politics. Just common sense says, look, if I was negotiating and I'm trying to play hardball, which is what they are, then they're going to leave it till the last minute before they go, okay, yeah, just do it. It's like chicken. Like if they moved out the way now, it's like the cars a mile down the road. They've got to leave it until the last minute. Everybody's got to feel that sense of, oh my God, this is over, before they go, okay, never mind. Because ultimately, whatever you think or don't think, the European Union export way more stuff into the UK than we do out of it. So we are, for a lot of their industries, their best customer. I'm not on about Amazon stuff. I'm on about in general. Germans sell most of their cars. I don't know exactly what we are, but we're like number 1 or number 2 export or something like that customer. The French sell a ton of champagne. The Belgians sell a load of chocolate, and all kinds of industries rely on the British consumer. Now, if you just pull out, fine, we can still trade, and I think things there won't be lumpy in the medium to long term. But there's going to be some lumpiness in the short term. But I think there'll be a deal at the last minute. So I'm going to stay positive. I really am. We've spent 6 months putting a new feature into Profit Protector Pro that's that close to being done, that revolves around EFN. So I'm going to be positive, because we've invested a lot of time, money, effort, blood, sweat, tears to bloody making that happen. And now nobody's going to get to use it apart from the odd pan-EU seller. And the worst bit is, that's changing too, isn't it now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the pan, we didn't know how much of an impact this was going to have. We knew it was going to be effectively the end of EFN as we knew it. You know, that was going to be a given. But we didn't know how much it was going to affect pan-European sellers and whether they would just be able to continue on as normal. But it is going to impact on them as well, in the sense that Amazon have pretty much come out and said, look, you guys are going to have, whether you're pan-European, whether you're EFN, whatever, you're going to have to be responsible for your own returns now. So essentially, even if you're pan-European, which we didn't know if that was going to be the case, then you're going to have to find a third-party warehouse or a prep center, or somebody who can take your returns, handle those returns, because they can't come back cross-border at the moment. Now, obviously, if there is a deal that is struck, it might potentially change something. And I completely agree what you say with regards to the sentiment. And I don't want this to sound really arrogant or anything like that, but I think a lot of people, are of the same opinion, that the European Union won't want to cut us off completely without absolutely anything. So I think, I do completely agree with that. I think that if there's going to be something...
The thing is now, it's not cutting us off, it's cutting them off.
Yeah, cutting them off.
That's the thing, like, they stand to lose way more than we do if no deals reached.
Yeah, I don't think you don't want to be of the opinion, but it is true that more like, do they need us more than we need them at this stage? Is that what it's going to come down to? And I know that there's lots of different arguments on both sides, and I don't want to turn this into a political debate, because obviously that's the way it could end up going. But I completely agree. I think if there could be an 11th hour deal that gets struck, but what that still won't potentially change is customs duty issues and tariffs and things like that. So that's what we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for. I think if you're an EFN seller, I'm going to get off the fence. I'm totally going to get off the fence, and I am going to advise people to stop selling in Europe from now at the moment. If you're an EFN seller, purely because, as I said, it's if you've got something set up where you can have somebody take your returns or do this, then maybe continue on selling a little bit longer. But essentially, and I know someone made the comment about the fact that they've had stuff turn up, in the France distribution center 8 months later, because Amazon periods of returns are so long. To be perfectly honest, one could argue that it doesn't matter if you stop selling now, or in a month. You could potentially argue that, because they will still pretty much accept returns for the last 2 years anyway, because of European laws. So I get that. I just don't want people to start kind of panicking, if that makes sense. And, be in a position where we don't know what's going to happen if stock gets stranded abroad. Is it going to have even more or bigger tax implications? Is it going to cost people money? Are Amazon going to turn around and say, right, okay, we warned you from the 1st of January 2021. We've got all of your details. We've got all of your stock in our European fulfillment centres. You've got to pay us €50 to remove each item to somewhere, wherever. So unlikely. I know it's unlikely, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Well, I don't want to swear or never mind the buy box, but if they said that to me, I'm not going to do it. €50 an item. I'd tell them to shove it up their blooming, no chance.
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. Unfortunately, I did think that it would go a little bit longer. I knew we wouldn't be able to sell right up until the 31st of December. I knew that anyway. But unfortunately, it just means that sales are probably going to be a little bit impacted. But obviously, with it hopefully being a heightened Q4 anyway, for a lot of people, I'm hoping that it's going to counteract that. But anybody that is selling through pan-European and has got the setup right is going to have a bumper Q4. Especially
John's made a good point. John Stevenson says 30% of his business is EFN. Speaking with an Amazon rep last week, I believe the financial hit to Amazon may prompt them to develop a solution. I think if they can develop a solution, I think they will try to. Because ultimately, Amazon doesn't want to go backwards. They only like to grow, and they're going to grow anyway. But this will be a big hit to them. So I'm really hopeful that there'll be political pressure, business pressure on both sides, and business pressure. I think I really think that things are going to be okay. But I think if you're going to you should err on the side of caution. If you're conservative and you don't want to lose anything, probably go with what Nat's saying. But I'm all for I don't risk it if you got 10 grand on the line, but I'm all for just do it. Go for it. Keep going, boy. Woo! Do it. Just keep going, baby.
I would definitely. But like I said, if the cutoff date was 14th of December, then I would say, oh my God, rinse it. Get as much, because, get as many sales under your belt as you can. But 14th of November, that's the start of when we should start really seeing a big uplift in sales. So what I'm kind of hoping for, this is how my brain works. So I'm hoping that Amazon have kind of thought of this, that they know that that's the time when UK sales are going to have a real big uplift anyway. So hopefully, it might kind of counteract it a little bit. But, let's wait and see. I'm surprised Amazon haven't come up with a solution.
I'll tell you what, here's a little bit of news for you. Maybe some people will know it, but maybe some won't. It's just something I've heard on a conversation, but I think this might be what Amazon's doing to not take the hit. Have you heard about this, Nat? And this is not going to affect your UK sellers so much, but in the US, there is going to be, I don't know if it is now or they're developing it, but there's going to be an EFN solution, like European Fulfillment Network, but for the US to Canada and Mexico. So you'll be able to be a US seller and sell stuff into Canada and Mexico without moving stock around. So maybe maybe the smarties at Amazon have gone, okay, we're going to take the EFN hit, but if we basically do the same thing in the US, we'll more than make up for it because their markets are probably bigger than the European markets. Have you heard about that? Or
I have heard about it. I have heard about it, but in all honesty, I haven't really looked into it. So it's not something I've taken much. With everything else that's been going on, it's not something I've taken. I feel definitely, because obviously the networks, the different platforms around the world are designated into different kind of sections, and I feel it's Amazon's long-term goal to be able to have no borders, essentially, for it to be a borderless service. I feel that if you ask Jeff, that would probably be one of the things he would want to achieve. But
I'm sure him and his billionaire buddies do want borderless things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe if he ever comes on Never Mind the Buy Box one day, we'll be able to ask him. But I think that he is going to do whatever he can to make this kind of borderless thing. And probably he would have been absolutely annoyed. It'd be totally annoyed until at the thought of the Brexit and ruining his plan of selling globally on Amazon. So we got to wait and see what happens. In the world of politics, 2 months is a long time. A lot can change in that period of time. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
He'll have done 10 U-turns by the end of the month. So
yeah, absolutely. And just a shout out to Sean Flynn, actually, who messaged me before we came and asked about selling in Europe. And I said I would mention this. He was mentioning about selling selling FBM through Europe. And I did say that I would kind of mention it, which is I would just never recommend selling fulfilled by merchant to the European countries anyway, not even taking into account this whole situation. It's purely because, one, it's incredibly expensive to be able to do it, and so therefore people kind of miscalculate the cost. So that's my first kind of negative against it. Second negative is obviously FBM will impact on your account even more. And the trouble with fulfilling packages through Europe is that it's a very unpredictable postal service as soon as you get outside of the UK. And because FBM does measure your account so highly on items being delivered and items being sent on certain times, it's a bit unpredictable, to be perfectly honest. They're not even taking into account a lot of parcels that are sent through FBM to Europe don't often reach their end destination. Not all the time, not 100% all the time, but it's certainly a higher percentage than in the UK. So then added into that, the fact of this returns and you might not even be able to get them recovered, it's just too much of a risk for me.
Yeah, no,
I'm a real Debbie Downer tonight, aren't I?
You're not a Debbie Downer. You're being a realist, and that's good. Realism's sometimes it's not cool and not what people want to hear when the truth sucks. But when that's your truth, you should speak it. Can I just say?
There we go. Look, Sue says she had a nightmare in FBM in Europe, lost her account over it. So, where's Matt gone?
What?
Oh, you just totally disappeared for a second.
I'm back.
You're back.
Okay, I need to say something.
Yeah.
Sponge.
Sponge?
Sponge.
Huh? Have I missed something?
No. I told somebody that I was on Never Mind the Buy Box tonight, and
and he's disappeared again. Must have been the code word sponge. I don't know where he keeps going, but I'll just carry on. He's not, and you're back again.
I don't think I went anywhere. I'm looking at the stream.
You did. You disappeared.
I can see the stream, and I've not disappeared on there. I don't think. Did it go black or?
No, it just did like a spinny thing. Maybe it was just my end anyway.
It might be your end, Nat. I don't know, but it might be your end because I didn't see the spinny thing. But anyway, yeah, Sponge. Somebody said that I told them I was going to be on Never Mind the Buy Box, and if I was on it, they wanted me to say Sponge. So I said Sponge.
There we go. SpongeBob, as someone said. I've taken my eyes. Oh, Matt. It's my Matt. Do you know what? I'm going to tell my Matt off. He hasn't filled out his details on StreamYard for some reason. It hasn't come up. So Sean says, thank you. He lives in Northern Ireland, 60 minutes from Southern Ireland. So you might not be able, to work something with that, Sean, actually. I feel that people going to have access to the European market I feel that there's going to be really good opportunities for them. So everyone's saying you didn't disappear. How weird.
I don't think I did either.
You did, I promise.
Philip says I should contact Jeffy Boy and get Jeffy Boy on. I will. I'll send him a text later, Philip. But we've not spoke since I beat him at poker, and he lost a couple of billion to me. So.
Well, there we go. There we go. Okay. Well, you didn't disappear. It was just me going mental. After the sponge then comment, it would be a good point to a good time to actually say we have a very exciting guest coming on Nevermind the Buy Box next week. And well, we've got lots of exciting guests coming. We've got lots of exciting guests coming.
Can you tell us who's next week?
I can't tell you exactly who it is because I don't like to give them too much, like people, smashing their inbox kind of thing.
Can you give me? Is it someone that's been on before or not?
No, brand new person to Nevermind the Buy Box, and somebody who sells a very high volume in Europe. Now, the idea, because you guys kept asking about pan-European, and we always, try and facilitate as much as we can and get as much information to people. And the idea was, when I originally asked this person, that we thought that pan-European would be absolutely the answer to all of the EFN issues. And so it was going to be more about that. But obviously with these recent changes, we don't even know if that's still going to be the case, but we're still going to have this seller who's very kindly agreed to come on, tell us about their selling journey, tell us about their experiences of selling in Europe and going through the pan-European process. Because unless Amazon come up with something completely different, the only option to sell in Europe as it stands from the 1st of January is going to be to register for pan-European. But even that's got a little bit of complexity to it. So this guest next week is going to come on and tell us all about that. But they've already come up with quite a creative solution as to what they're going to be able to do to handle it moving forward. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
I'm not one to keep secrets, so I'm going to tell them about the other thing, because I know you wanted to leave it to the end. But guess what, guys? We have been talking to somebody, and in the coming weeks, in a few weeks, we have, hopefully, if we can secure it, like we're in final stage negotiations, but hopefully if we can secure it, we've got an 8-figure UK seller coming on. Never mind the buy box. 8-figure. That's per year as well, isn't it, Nat?
Yeah, per year.
8 figures per year in a few weeks. We are that close. We've still got to dot the T's and cross the I's the other way around, but we are that close to securing our. I mean, this guy, I've known him for a while. He's a bit of a legend. I think you'll really like him. But like I say, he's not. There's nothing in it for him to like come and share. But so if we could get him to, it's quite a cool thing, and we're really hoping he will, because we think you'll love him. And yeah, but yeah, 8-figure seller in the coming week.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just going to be, it's just going to be phenomenal to be able to talk to someone, ask them questions. And I mean, obviously it's something that, well, I mean, I'm just ridiculously excited about it. I mean, I fangirled up, enough with Matthew last week, obviously. And I've been working hard, guys, to bring these people in, to bring you their kind of experiences. And, I know everyone, as much as they love you and Luke and Karen and everyone who offers massive contributions to this, it's nice to have different people on for different experiences.
Big time. Yeah, no, it's really fun. I love it when we've got different guests on, especially people you guys have never had any contact with before. Maybe they've never done a live before, never done a video before. You don't know them. They're not coaches. There's nothing for them to gain by being on. So it's really nice for us to show you that obviously whatever level you're at, there's always somebody. It's like Westerns, with the fastest draw, there's always somebody else that's next level. And that's not to make you feel bad about yourself. That's to make you go, wow, I thought maybe I was doing well because I've grown X amount, but like, look where they're going. And I describe this guy as, for me, it's like the 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister, when he ran the 4-minute mile, nobody ran a 4-minute mile before him. Have I got that right? 4-minute mile? I think it is.
4-minute mile, yeah.
Yeah, but then after he'd run the 4-minute mile. All of a sudden, everybody was running the 4-minute mile. And I think it'll be the same for you guys. Like right now, it's hard to imagine an 8-figure UK seller because there can't be that many of them. But fingers crossed, like I say, we'll have one on and that'd be amazing. But yeah, Matthew was amazing last week. He was a 7-figure seller. So it just shows you like the game, like the level you can play this game at, and people are silently in the shadows, you know, playing the game at the highest levels, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is about Matthew last week, and obviously the guest that we've got coming on as well, is you know, next week's guest is a high level seller as well at the end of the day. So it's one of these things. It's just interesting to hear people's different starting points and different journeys, and sometimes it's a bit like where you think, oh, okay, well, they must have had connections or they might have started with something. But you know, in particular, Matthew last week, we heard his story. He literally left university, started his business with, you know, from scratch, from nothing. Same with this, you know, the 8-figure seller. I don't know if I can give away figures or anything like that, and I'm not going to give anything away, but literally started with nothing, you know, kind of thing. So real success story, which really looking forward to getting into, definitely. So yeah, no, definitely a UK seller, guys. I know Hayden said about US, no, all UK.
UK, baby.
Yeah, UK seller.
It'd be cool to get some US sellers on at some point as well, wouldn't it?
It's like you've read my mind. So that's what my feelers have gone out for the moment. There is someone in particular that I would love to bring on, never mind the buy box, and I'm kind of working on it in the US side of things, and just to hear their experience with selling in the US, and there's also a US seller that I want to get on as well. So, but that's what I'm saying, guys. You know, we'd never mind the buy box. It's we're not changing anything. It's going to be exactly the same. But I know how much everyone's been enjoying the different variety of guests. So working my hardest to try and get as many different guests on there as possible, for people to have you know, different experiences. And like I said, it's not to make anyone feel like they're not achieving anything, but it's to show what's potentially possible.
Yeah, the truth is most people will never become 8-figure sellers. The truth is most people wouldn't want the stress of it, you know, but it's still inspirational to see people at that level. But whether you're a 6-figure seller, 8-figure seller, even 5-figure seller, look, even 4-figure seller, you're still doing what most people won't do, which is, you know, building a business and being entrepreneurial and changing your future and your family's future. So whatever level you're at is cool, and we celebrate successes. I celebrate the first win as much as the first 100 grand or the first million. Like it's great. So the first sales, like we'll celebrate it, you know. But yeah.
And it's really true. It's that light bulb moment. And many people often talk about that light bulb moment, especially with selling on Amazon. We're obviously talking about it from an 8-figure point of view, but it is exactly the same, even at the starting level, in the sense that I often say this, and it's probably the phrase I use the most, that you don't know Amazon works until you know Amazon works. And you have this kind of like this Roger Bannister moment. Okay, you can actually see it happening. So therefore it's working, and therefore that's when it's like this light bulb moment. Hang on a sec, this does really work. And then that's when people tend to grow from there. So it's the, you know, everyone has those light bulb moments at different points during their business. And you know, we've often talked about Amazon being a really good springboard into different areas of selling online and all these different platforms. And Matthew talked about it through eBay last week. You know,
well, you know the other thing that there's that saying, you become you're the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or whatever. So if your friends are all bums from school that are all like losers and didn't do anything with their life, chances are you're going to struggle to be anything other than a loser. That's what the gurus say, and that's what the experts say and stuff. And maybe there's some truth to it. But the fact that you could come on here and hang around with like-minded people, yeah, you might not be in the same room having a beer, but in these times, it's the next best thing. But like-minded people that are doing things at next level, I just think some of it's got to rub off, and some of it's got to inspire and be helpful. But is there any more news for Amazon, Nat?
Yeah, we've had a few comments, so I don't know if you want to read a couple of those out while I'm just shuffling my newspapers.
Yeah, all right then. Okay, so let me go back a bit. Brilliant guest. Sean says, Vlad says that's going to be a really cool. Never mind the buy box. Alexander says, impossible, must be drugs. I'm not an Amazon, I don't think, Alexander. But and to be fair, God, can you imagine an 8-figure drug seller? I don't think we'd want them on. We'd be a bit scared of them.
No, absolutely. I'm not getting involved in any of that.
No, Aidan says probably only 100 in the UK. Probably. I mean, who knows? Amazon's massive, but yeah, there can't be that many. Philip says, I ain't running anywhere. Slow walk for me. How many staff do you need for 8 figures? Sean says, going to be a few. Absolutely. Well, we know, but we'll let them tell you rather than us tell you. US sellers will be interesting, Ruth says. Alex is seeing their mindset in value is value in itself. Absolutely, Alex. It's true. Absolutely true. John says, is it Smiggle? An upside down smiley face. Philip says, does anyone who is...
I think Smiggle's Australian, isn't it? I think they're an Australian brand. I don't know why I've got that in my head.
I have no idea. Philip says, does anyone who is based in the UK, EU, have a US OA business they do remotely using prep centers, or is that harder than EU? So I know John Stevenson used to, as I think he told you in a minute. I tried OA in the US from the UK before I did OA in the UK. And Jesus Christ, there's some hoops to jump through. I wouldn't advise it unless things have changed in the last few years, which I doubt.
Well, I think the difference is making sure you've got the right prep center, making sure you've got the right support to be able to do it. So that's definitely what I want. That's the type of guest.
It was buy-in that I struggled with, though. You literally couldn't buy anything. It wasn't the prep center. There's some great prep centers in the US. It was the buying stuff, like they cancel your payments and no. It was very hard to just even get the stock. Managed it on occasion, but mostly not.
Yeah, it is possible. It's definitely possible to do it, but yeah, as I said, so it's definitely something we're looking into. So I'm happy to share. I want like a US seller to be able to come on, who I've reached out to, the one I particularly want to be able to come on here, and then also somebody who is UK based that is selling in the US. So going to look at it from 2 different points of view, because I mean, it might be something that these guys never never want to do for whatever reason, but I think it's just fascinating to listen to the process of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a reminder, apparently.
Yeah, Karen says, here's your reminder. I forgot what I meant to remind you about, so going through the Skype messages now. One of them... Is it a new
iBot Pro feature?
Maybe it's the suggested purchase quantity in iBot Pro. So I know a lot of people are like, no, you've taken it out. Why are you taking it out? Because we wanted to make it better. And so it's been out for like a month or something like that. Well, suggested purchase quantity is now back in iBot Pro, but it's like at the 2.0 version. I've not had a chance to test it yet, but I'm told from our testers that it's better than it was. A lot better than it was. So suggested purchase quantity is now back in iBot Pro. There was something else. I'll try and read that while you talk for a minute, Nat, and then I'll
the other big thing just to make people aware of, I mean, we know at the moment, obviously, that Amazon is getting absolutely smashed with the amount of goods that are going into Amazon. So it was kind of released under the radar a little bit. I know a lot of people haven't said it, haven't seen it so much. I did put it in a post this week as well, and I have made a video about it, so it will be going on. But from the 7th to the 31st of October, Amazon have reissued free removal orders, but there's a little bit of a twist on it this time. So it's not for any type of normal stock. So any stock that you've got in Amazon at the moment, which is classed, I think, as excess inventory, long-term inventory, unfulfillable or stranded, Amazon's giving you the opportunity to get it out free of charge between the 7th and the 31st of October. My advice, take it, at the end of the day, if it's stranded, if it's unfulfillable or whatever. Amazon are being kind of so slow with all of the things like ungating and all that at the moment. It's not worth having it in there. And of course, this does have an impact on the IPI score, which it didn't used to. We always used to say, leave it in there. It's no big dramas. It's not causing any issues or anything like that. But now it does have an impact on the IPI score. So just get it out. 90 days generally before you can send it back in, so it is going to miss Q4, but at the end of the day, that 90 days does give you the opportunity to be able to sell it during this heightened sales period, you know, on Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, a different platform where there's going to be heightened sales anyway. So fingers crossed you'll be able to sell it.
So I don't think this is the thing that Karen wanted me to remind you about either, but have we mentioned on Nevermind the Buy Box that the new BuyBot Pro Retail Arbitrage mobile app is now out? Have we mentioned that?
No, we haven't mentioned it at all.
Oh my God. Right. So guys, so anybody that knows what BuyBot Pro is, knows the power of it, it's for analysis in a Chrome extension desktop. We've been working forever on a retail arbitrage mobile app. Well, the Android beta version is now out, and it's available for free with all BuyBot Pro subscriptions. So if you're a BuyBot Pro customer of the desktop Chrome extension, you get a free upgrade to the mobile BuyBot Pro mobile app. That's what I'm trying to say. On Android only. And this is what reminded me. Alison says, when will it be available on iPhone? Not in October. Hopefully next month, but we're not putting a date on it. Ultimately, it's when it's ready. So when the devs have finished it, but it's a different team on the Android and the iPhone version. And the Android version is finished and complete. It's still in beta. There's still a few kinks we're working out, but you can download it, and people that have used it are loving it. And it's got some real advanced functionality in it. Have you managed to check it out yet, Nat?
I'm ashamed to say I haven't. I'm always honest. I'm ashamed to say I haven't. I've done a few scans at home, but we haven't been out, and I'm going to film a video for it. We're going to go out and we're going to see it out in action, see it do it. Yeah, see it's doing its stuff. I am so curious to be able to explore the search, you know, the additional search function and the related search function. Can't speak tonight on that. For me, as a seller who's always looking for kind of listings that maybe aren't out there, I think that's going to be a fantastic feature to be able to do that. So,
well, I don't know if it's world's first. Is it world's first? That I don't know if any other app out there. I mean, we don't have to mention any names, but I've never seen that search feature on any other retail arbitrage app.
Not one that automatically does it. No, absolutely not. Not that I can think of at all, and certainly not in the UK.
Yeah. Okay. No. So possibly world's first. We don't know, but it's
possibly
super good.
World's first, but that's probably me. Like I said, not one that does it automatically. So world's first from that point of view, I think absolutely.
And it's got some queue features. So if you've not got Wi-Fi, you can scan a load of items really fast, store photos of the items if you want to optionally, and then when you connect to Wi-Fi or 4G, depending on, or 3G, depending on your settings, it'll analyze them. So then you can look through. And then the ones you buy, you can add to your purchase list, or you can delete them if you don't want to. And it's got ROI, BSR, it's got sales charts on there. It's really good. It's just the power of BuyBot Pro in your pocket. Really, really awesome. Even though it's just come out like a few days ago and it's still very early days beta, it's really, really, really sexy. And we're working hard on making it perfect. So thought I'd announce. Now, there is one more announcement. Sorry?
The feedback from what I've seen from everyone has just been amazing so far. Philip says it's the Sainsbury's toy sale tomorrow, so it'd be a good chance to try it out. Actually, I think I could do that actually, but I'll be honest, I didn't know the Sainsbury's toy sale was going ahead this year. I knew that they were doing it, but I don't think they're doing it to the extent what they've done it over the last few years. But I'll be honest, there's a few gems in the Sainsbury's toy sale generally. I mean, I used to be one of the saddos that was there at like 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, like queuing up for it. And sorry, I'm not calling everyone else saddos. That, you know, that was just me. And yeah, and it used to be like people fighting over everything. I think with the COVID restrictions, be interested to see how they handle that this year.
Absolutely. Alison says, I'm tempted to buy an Android phone just so I can use the app. I wouldn't blame you either, Alison. If the Sainsbury's toy sale's on tomorrow, for example, could go get an Android phone, load up BuyBot Pro Mobile, get yourself down to the toy sale, and probably make your money back like in one session. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Lizette says that she's tried it today. It's really good. Use it loads today. There we go. I mean, we knew it was going to be a game changer, obviously, in terms of the information that it was going to be able to, supply. And I think especially for 2021, I think we don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to talk too much about 2021 as yet. But it's going to be one of those things that I think people are going to be looking for different aspects and different elements to add to their business, and being able to have a tool that is so easily accessible to be able to make money whilst you're in store, because there hasn't really been, and obviously the Seller Central app's been broken for about 6 weeks now as well. So to have all of that information to be able to make more informed decisions in store, then I think next year it's going to be a real kind of lifeline to a lot of people that maybe might be looking to diversify different sources 2021 onwards.
Absolutely. I know what the thing is that I meant to have said now. So here's the one. Sorry, Karen. Literally, I've had to search the Skype app for it. But yeah, we're doing the final checks on the ASIN search for the app, and then that's going to go live too. And she asked me to announce that tonight. So you'll be able to search an ASIN from the phone. So right now you can type in Barbie and search from your mobile phone.
Yeah.
And do analysis, but you'll be able to directly put an ASIN into it as well.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. So yeah. Phil says RA is where it is right now. I know Phil is an absolute RA demon. So with the right tools, you can make money. Absolutely. And, Matthew last week, he does RA as well at the end of the day. So I think having that information on hand to be able to make decisions, because I think you take away a lot of the different aspects of RA. You take away, some people get embarrassed doing it, and I completely get that. Some people are a little bit scared of the confrontation. But I think once you strip all that away, which comes with experience, it comes with knowing what to say to retailers and building relationship with retailers and things like that. Once you take all that away, there's still the tools out there, is still pretty naff. But to be able to have the Buybot Pro app and have that information and build people's confidence, because there's always been this kind of element of, I can't really make a proper informed decision on RA. So I think that's just going to, provide a lot of opportunity for people. Definitely.
Yeah, cool.
John said, you mean Hayden hasn't done a promo of it right now? Absolutely. I think Hayden did actually, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was, maybe that's what he's referring to. He was walking. I saw a video of him earlier.
Hayden, watch where you're going, across the road.
Yeah, in the Buybot Pro group, Facebook group, Aiden's there doing a live. We're talking to the camera whilst walking across the road, not really looking where he's going. But he was like, oh, no, I went over a crossing. So, all right, we'll let you off. But I didn't see the second follow-up video of him actually using it, so I don't know.
Ah, there we go. It could be an opportunity there.
I think that's what he's talking about.
Hayden's done the first one by the looks of it. Right, what else did I have to let you guys know about? I've got
news. Is there any more news?
I feel like there was one more thing, but I think we kind of broke it up a little bit. If anybody wants information on how to turn off their European settings, I'll quickly run through it now. You go to Seller Central, go into your inventory. By the way, this is the European. I did say European.
I don't know.
Settings, didn't I? Did I?
I don't know. Say it again. Pretend you never said anything. Just go again.
No. Okay. So this is how you turn off your European settings for anyone that does want to disable the European selling now. You go into Seller Central. I had to write this down because I've got a really good memory, but can't remember it off the top of my head. You go into Seller Central. You go into inventory, into sell globally. Then it's build international listings. And then it will give you all the different marketplaces, and you need to go on to the right hand side, and then it will give you a little thing that says remove connection. So you need to remove the connection, but then you need to make sure you do it for every single European marketplace. Obviously the UK being the source one, so you don't need to do anything with that. But remove the connection from each one. So don't just think, oh, I've done it on one, it will do the rest. Amazon is not that fluid. The back end of Amazon is not that fluid. You need to remove the connection for every single marketplace. And then on top of that as well, just as an extra precaution, it gives you the option, I think it says something like, it gives you the option to delete all the listings in that particular marketplace. So hit yes, but then Amazon being Amazon, and like I said, not being that fluid, not connecting at the right time sometimes, even though you've hit yes to delete all of the listings, make sure, and this is a bum ache, unfortunately, but you got to do it. You go into each, I saw your face there, Matt. You're like, oh God, this sounds like way too much hassle. Then you'll need to go into
it's when he said bum ache. I'm like, what's a bum ache?
Yeah, pain in the bum. Yeah, there we go. Bum ache, pain in the bum. But you'll need to go into each individual European marketplace, and I would manually delete all the listings one by one. So make yourself a coffee and, you know, take half an hour out of your life to do it, because we all know what it's like. If you don't individually delete the listings in the marketplace, it can come back. And, you know, it's like it's got a life of its own. So just individually do it. Yeah, Kate said I did say that. So, yeah. There we go. Got to say it twice anyway. So yes, so that's the kind of the roundup of the news and everything that's going on. I'm really kicking myself because I feel that there was something else that I had to say, and I can't remember what it is. Yeah, there we go. Kate says it's the same as a ball ache, but it's round the back. So I think a lot of people. There we go, Hayden. You've got a lot of people asking. Need to do a follow up.
Yeah. So Philip's part. It's double whammy. Using Profit Protector Pro, I've increased my total sales in EU by 40%. Slightly reluctant to turn it off just yet. I may gamble for a while longer. Absolutely, Philip. Absolutely. You know what? As much as Nat's saying she would advise you do that, ultimately it's your decision, it's your business, and ultimately everybody's got to make their own decision. If you want to go for it and be a bit more gambly, then go for it. And if not, then don't. But
yeah, the competition's only going to reduce. So I can completely see there is logic definitely in continuing to sell where other people are not. Margins getting more attractive, sales in velocity increasing, that even if you did have to absorb a certain level of returns, then it might counteract that anyway. So I definitely see the logic in that. Absolutely. I think I would be irresponsible with the information to say, yeah, continue selling, you know, screw Amazon, screw the system, screw Brexit, whatever. Delivering the information, erring on the side of caution, and being responsible. People do listen to, what we kind of say on these kind of things. So, like I said, I'm giving the responsible advice.
The conservative, responsible advice. I mean, conservative with a little c before anyone starts. Yeah, but there's different approaches, different strokes, different folks. She's like the angel today, and I'm like the devil. I'm like going, yeah, roll the dice, let's do this.
I was the negative one today, actually, and I'm always like, yeah, we can get through it, we can do this, we can do that. But I'm just being realistic, and I know
you're being pragmatic, realistic. It is what it is, and that's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's cool. That's Natalie's opinion, and I think you probably do well to listen to Natalie, but ultimately, like we say, it's not advice one way or the other. We don't really know what's going to go down yet. And I've got a feeling Jeffy Boy is going to pull one out of the bag, or old Boris will, one of them.
Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, if you disable your connections now, it's not the end of the world. You can reattach the connection at the end of the day. It's not like once you flick that switch, you'll never be able to sell in Europe again. It just means that you're disabling it for that period of time. So you can, it just needs to resync with your listings in Europe. So it's not the end of the world. So even in a week's time, if you've disabled it and something happens, you can just re-enable that connection. It's it's not the end of the world at the end of the day. So it's not like I'm never going to be able to sell in Europe again or whatever. I remember what I was going to say, and I'm glad I remembered, actually. I know we've hit 8 o'clock, but Prime Day is obviously today and tomorrow. And just wanted to kind of pick up on the feedback, not only from ourselves, but kind of other sellers as well. And I think I've kind of figured it out now. Normally what happens is Prime Day is in the middle of July. That's generally when it happens. It's like Amazon's way of getting a really big boost to their business in, the middle of the year. It's a sensible thing to do. Now, what can happen is during that Prime Day, because there's this very high level of traffic that doesn't normally come around that type of year. Ordinarily, sellers will have a good uplift in their business. And of course, I'm talking about from a PL point of view, because obviously you can do all the deals, the Prime Day deals and that type of thing. But it has ultimately always been a private label branded event. That's what it's always been. But as arbitrage sellers, if there's a big uplift in traffic, then generally you can see an uplift in your sales, because you're taking, a bit of advantage of that uplift in traffic. It's a case of, right, I'm going to buy my Echo Dot for $18.99, and while I'm here, I'm going to get my toothpaste as well. It's that kind of butterfly effect, I suppose, of what generally happens. Now, obviously, this year, it didn't happen in July because of COVID. Amazon didn't need that extra amount of pressure on the website. It's happened in October. And not only has it happened in October, it's happened in, coming towards mid-October, which is well on its way to the start of Q4 starting to really kind of kick off. So I think what's happened is, and a lot of people I'm speaking to are a bit like, well, okay, well, I didn't really get much uplift in sale today. And from my own personal point of view, which I said to you earlier, didn't I, Matt, that what we saw, especially with our kind of unique bundle listings where we invest and have daily budgets for PPC, we were experiencing, our budgets got blown by like 11 o'clock because there was this massive uplift in traffic that's coming to the site. But we didn't really see much of an impact in higher sales, because predominantly it is something, and it is an event that does and is going to affect private label sellers more. People come on for Prime Day to buy Echoes, they buy Kindles, they buy USB sticks and toothbrushes and I saw loads of toothbrush offers on there today. Absolutely. So it's going to be one of those things that I don't want people to get disappointed about just because they were expecting this massive level of sales. It's never going to do that. It's just going to give you a little bit of a boost. But we're obviously in a time when it normally doesn't happen anyway, where sales velocity and sales should be a little bit heightened anyway. So I would say overall, if you're doing okay and you're relatively where you are normally, or maybe a little bit up, brilliant. If you're a little bit down because of today, it's because people on Amazon are spending their money elsewhere today, as in they're buying their Echoes, they're buying this, they're buying that. So don't be disappointed, guys. This isn't something that we take huge advantage of anyway as arbitrage sellers.
Well, Jed's had his best sales day ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Oh, ever.
Ever. Best sales day ever. Well done, Jed. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Brilliant.
Jed was the first person to download the new mobile retail arbitrage beta app. There's a picture of him in the Buybot Pro mobile group. Have you seen it? I love it.
I got my own personal picture. Jed sent me a picture because it was really making me laugh, because I was like, I've never seen anyone so happy. Yeah. And he sent me his own personal picture of how happy he was with the Buybot Pro mobile app. So I did appreciate that. It really did. It made me laugh out loud. But Jed was also like, he's super speedy. I know I said this before. He's super speedy at, he's always the first person on or to sign up for things. So yeah.
Jed does not mess about.
No, absolutely. But congratulations, it's really well deserved. Like Lillian says, going back to the EFN thing comment, yeah, you can always reactivate it.
Can I tell you something that I noticed today that I found really a bit weird, and it's slightly related but not at the same time. So Amazon Prime Day, right, or whatever, Prime Day today, I was having a little look, and I noticed pretty much all of Amazon's physical products, and no, there's not all of them, but most of them seem to be things that listen to you or watch you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're data collecting on you. Yeah. We know, yeah. Right. I'm not too bothered by that. It doesn't really bother me.
You know what? Holly logged into her Amazon account, right? Or logged into something. I don't know what she was on earlier. And it said delete recordings. And it said it was like multiple devices going back to 2016, and there was a delete recordings next to each of these things. There wasn't preview recordings. This is on Amazon. It didn't say preview recordings or listen to recordings. It's just said it gave you an option to delete recordings. Well, she didn't have any Amazon related device or Amazon related app back in 2016 when it said delete recordings, or this is what she said. And I think that's really weird. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think they've been listening to us for years. You know, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if anyone wants to listen in on my boring life, and that they're more than welcome to, but they ain't gonna get nothing. You know, it's gonna be, Matt, have you done this, or what's this, or why do I need to do? You know, my life's so kind of boring. Essentially, no one's gonna want to listen to me.
No, I know.
So yeah, you know, just throw in the odd word every now and again that make their ears prick up.
Yeah. Like, what did somebody tell me you can't say? It starts with N. Oh, I probably shouldn't say it just in case. I'm not going to say it. Starts with N. No, not that.
Oh no, God!
I'm going to say it now, like Novichok or something like that. But I mean, like,
what, the Russian poisoning thing?
Yeah, supposedly you can't say that. I don't know why, but you can't say it. You can't let the devices hear you say it. I'm not sure why.
I'm not joking. I've got an Echo Dot in here, and it just turned yellow when you said that.
Are you kidding?
No. There we go. Yeah, Ruth.
Get some tin foil.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruth said Amazon openly admitted listening to conversations in the documentary. So yeah, but they do. I love you. I love Lewis's comments there. You can read that one out.
Is that Lewis? I didn't know who it was. I was logging onto my phone to do it was. I've gave up on staying up to date with who's saying what. If it says, if you've not registered with StreamYard, it just says Facebook users. But I should have known. Should have known it'd be Lewis.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. Just quickly check. Who asked that question again? I've got to check my phone about pan-European. Binay. So good question for next week's guest about the charges for pan-EU sellers. We're really going to be diving into it, and we're going to be finding out all the different costs and what it involves. And I say we don't know if it's going to change moving forward, but the process of what it used to be and what it is now, if that makes sense.
I want to check my Echo Dot now, see if it went yellow, because everybody's saying that theirs went yellow.
Yeah, mine went yellow.
I'm going to go check.
Oh my God.
I'm going to go say it again. I'm going to check it.
I know, we're going to create some sort of international incident with everyone saying it all at the same time. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, everyone's giving a little bit of a laugh. Nairi's joined us. No way I'd have an Alexa, Lewis says. Well, do you know what? My house is like a beacon to be listened into from every possible angle. Computers, mobile phones, Alexas, we've got Nests, we've got cameras, we've got everywhere. You know, like literally, if they are listening in on us, we're the perfect example of completely being open to being listened in. But you know, they can track you through a mobile phone.
Everyone uses that as the reason to invite all these listening devices into every bit of your home.
They can listen to you on a switched off mobile phone.
I've said this for years. I think everything's being transcribed through these devices 24/7 by some AI that just transcribes it constantly, so they can search any conversation we've had forever through it. But imagine this: this runs out of battery. I leave it on charge in the bedroom. I'm down here and I'm chatting. They miss out on things, but no, it's all right because the Echo Dot's in the kitchen, so they can hear me. And then I go out the front door. Amazon now own Ring, don't they? I think they own Ring. So I go out the front door. Yeah. They know I've gone, and they can hear me just out at the front door. Who's there talking to me? I don't know about all this. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, and no, they do. They absolutely do. Donna says, I know exactly what you mean. I've got a love-hate relationship with my Alexa. I'm exactly the same. Does anyone else doing this? Sorry, I'm not allowed to say the A word. Keep setting off everyone's A devices.
Oh.
But does anyone else do this? You know, when you have like a bit of a house party at home, you have people round, you put the A device on, and I've got the Echo Show that shows all the lyrics and everything like that. Everyone has a few drinks and everyone starts telling it what to do. But then what happens is the more drunker you get, the angrier you get because it's not listening to you, but it's not listening to you because you're slurring on it. And yeah, no, my house parties, whenever we have people over and put the music on and that type of thing, always ends up with someone having like getting really angry at Alexa and having like a really hard go at it because it's not listening to what they're saying. And it often turns into like an Irish accent trying to tell it what to do as well. But that, you know,
nice.
That's a whole other story.
Alexa, order 50,000 toilet rolls.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa,
you can order at once. Visit
Alexa,
Amazon for more.
Alexa, set your alarm for 9 p.m.
Alarm set for 9 p.m. When your alarm sounds, if you need a few more minutes, just ask me to snooze.
3 a.m.
Stop it. Stop it. Everyone's saying stop. Right. Matt's not allowed to do that again. Don't worry, guys. He's having a never mind the base. I can't speak. Now I was going to say never mind the Facebook. Never mind the buy books ban. You're not coming on for at least 4 or 5 weeks.
Me?
Yeah, everyone's saying.
I think I'm scheduled not to come on for at least 4 or 5 weeks anyway.
I know. I was just trying to look like I was delivering some level of punishment.
Oh,
we've got so many exciting guests that are going to be coming on as well. Absolutely. So lots of different people from lots of different experiences. So really, really looking forward to that. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, Karen, everybody set off the alarm, and yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Much appreciated.
Yeah, I did it at 9 p.m., which is in 45 minutes, guys. So I did that on purpose, so not to mess with anyone too much. I should have done 3 a.m.
No, thank you. But my Alexas are in my kids' room, so you're going to wake my kids up.
Set a recurring alarm for 3 a.m. every morning.
No. Right. I'm going to get you off here before we lose any more. We're going to lose like loads of people that are going to be watching us. I'm not going on there again. Matt's messed up all my devices.
We've gained them. 5,000 people have joined us since I've started setting the Alexas.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay. Well, thank you for joining for me, Matt. It's good to go, chew the fat and go through all of the Amazon news. And yeah, like I said, lots of different people coming on and off over the next few weeks. Yeah. So please make sure you join us every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, either here, live stream through Secret Wealth Project, or obviously, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. You're evil.
Evil, that might be extreme.
No,
but yeah, I get you.
No, I know. Everyone knows it's in good faith, definitely. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Matt. Thanks to everyone that's joined us. We do really appreciate your contribution and all your comments and questions. And I'll pass it over to Matt. Say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, peeps. I always love popping on from time to time. Nice to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, got some really exciting guests over the next few weeks. Natalie has been working super hard at getting some really cool people on. So yeah, really excited to be watching next week, every week, 7 p.m. Tuesday, UK time. Never mind the buy box.
Absolutely. Stay safe, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye.